You have no soul. I sit here and I feel bad for you when your Giants lose. I really do. I really do. Oh, no. Oh, next football season, I'm keeping petty receipts. Oh, it's going to be on up in this piece.
Kenny, does Kenny look like he feels bad for you?
No, and that's what I said. You know what?
Does David look like he feels bad for you?
I realize now that the friendships is one way. It's a gigantic one-way sign because collectively I felt bad when the Steelers didn't make it. I'm rooting for David. I wanted Pittsburgh to go, and then you said I wanted to draft picks, and I let it go. I'm rooting for Georgia to win the national title game. Not that I care, but I know Kenny is going to be happy. Not anymore. That's over. I come over to your house and watch the Giants game with you and your father, and I felt like I was a part of the family until I found out I was Fredo. You were just figuring out a way to assassinate me. Wow.
Just had to figure out a way to get you on that fishing boat.
Okay.
So here's the deal.
It's home now. It's home. This will never happen again.
I mean, so here was why are we doing this? Because
you're mean. And
partially. But no, I represent a lot of people's feelings, and I think we can save you. See, when I was watching the championship games yesterday, and I sat down to watch yours. Now, I hate the Eagles. But I have to tell you, it got to a point of comedy because what happened to you and your team yesterday was outer space. Outer space.
No. You know what you found out? Is that it wasn't being patronizing. I was telling you the truth. They were on their third-string quarterback. Cutscene, they finished the game on their fifth-string quarterback / running back.
And what it told me is someone is telling you something.
We are not.
Oh, but we are. See, people, I want to ask you guys. Look, Rico, for those of you who don't know, Rico is born and bred Detroit. I mean, Rico embodies all of these Detroit brands, okay? Rico, Southwest Detroit's finest, to the point where he tried to buy Rieger's debt and send enforcers. The point is, it's time to come home. It's time to drop the charade. You're not a Niners fan. The Lions are ready for you to be a fan again. And I think, I know you're like, hey, I'm on that. I got the Willy Wonka ticket to heaven. Look at me. Look at me. Well, my point is, what if the guy that you think the world of, JC, is telling you a little something?
What if JC swung by your house and said, hey, Mike, why don't you drop this little nugget in the show? As Mike is answering the door, who this?
Listen, David and I spoke about it. That's why David wore the T-shirt he wore today. My point is, I really think for a guy from Southwest Detroit, for a man who has pride in this city, I think it's time to come home. You've made 7 title games in 13 years. You know, whatever. It's just not going to happen.
It counts
for
for nothing.
Exactly. So come home. Maybe yesterday was a sign you're not supposed to be rooting for those people.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be rooting for the Detroit Lions.
Me being a 49er fan had nothing to do with the disaster that happened on that field in Philadelphia.
David, do you believe in signs? Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
You do. Don't you think yesterday was one of them? Never before have we seen a team's third stringer die, followed by the fourth stringer to the very same injury, and then you end up with a running back at quarterback. Maybe God, and I had a verse in here on it. It's I shall vanquish all of your quarterbacks until you run back into the arms of the Lord. That's from MV 146.
Good thing I got rubber sole shoes when the lightning strikes this studio.
The point I'm making is maybe a sign is that the man upstairs is going to keep taking your quarterbacks until you come correct. You don't belong as a Niner fan.
Why not?
Because you're a Detroiter. Because you are as Detroit as it gets.
Right. And when the Super Bowl came to Detroit, Pontiac, that's when I became a Niners fan.
Sounds like somebody took the easy way out.
That wasn't the easy way out. I was young. I was 9 years old. I didn't know anything about football.
And right now, look.
And then, you know what? And then I watched the Lions, and I rooted for the Lions until I realized they don't bring me any joy.
Yeah, but they do now. They're good.
Okay.
Hold on.
And I'm happy for Lions fans.
Lion fans, would you take Rico back if he decided to come correct? Maybe we dip him in the river like one of those baptism deals, and would you take Rico back with open arms if he decided in his later years in life to recommit to his hometown team? David, do you think he would be welcome back? Kenny, you are as Lions as it gets. Whether it's this Kenny or getting loose on the town Kenny who takes his hat off and has product in his hair, would you welcome this man back to the flock?
Rico, buddy, come home. It's where you belong. It's where you grew up. It's where Fago and Coney. Let's go.
Like the bald guy hanging onto his hair.
Kinda, a little. Come home.
home.
We will open with arms wide open. We will welcome you back in.
Come on. Don't you want to come home? Don't you think yesterday was a sign? Kenny, if 4 quarterbacks on your team died, don't you think you'd take it as a sign that you weren't living right?
That's biblically like something is going on.
I mean, isn't that one of the things? The locust and the blood in the water and Christian McCaffrey at quarterback.
All it means is next year they have to go and they still have to draft another quarterback. They got to keep 5 on the roster.
I want to know this. There are a lot of people locally who bailed on the Lions, and maybe it was the right decision. But my point to you is, watching this team now, don't you think now would be the time to come back? Don't you think Rico needs to come correct? And we're going to get to Mahomes.
Are you giving up being a Giants fan?
I don't need to give up anything. That's my hometown team. I didn't bail and become a San Francisco fan or a Texans fan.
Right. And the Yankees.
That's my hometown team.
And the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Does that all make sense?
It does. It does, geographically. Remember, back before the Xfinity days, we had a cable system that featured, because I grew up on the Massachusetts border.
No. I've heard the story.
I can't help that. Dad was a Seas fan.
Okay.
Grandpa was a Seas fan.
But I can't be a Niners fan.
No, you have no connection to it.
Okay.
You have no connection to it.
They were here.
You took the opposite approach. You took the easy way out.
No, they were here. Pontiac. I was 9. So come. You know what? I like this.
David, I want to throw this to the people. I would really like to have this conversation. We'll get to football today. We'll get to the real deal game yesterday, which was unbelievable. KC and Cincy. Rico has officiating issues. I have issues with a lot, but I'll tell you, the game was incredible. But I want to know, would you welcome Rico back? Do you take what happened to the Niners as a sign that Rico needs to return, come home? Mama's calling. 248-539-9797.
Then do an entire show in a foam engine block head, and maybe I would consider.
Do we get to burn your Niners gear on the air?
No.
Well, then I'm not wearing the engine block.
Well, I'm considering, though.
I just think it's time. You're not a Niners fan.
I'm glad that you're deciding what I should do.
I'm not.
I just think it's. Wait, you just said. I just think it's time.
I had a divine vision.
Okay.
I don't control.
It was the garlic pizza you had last night.
I wish I had pizza yesterday. It would have been way more delicious than what I ate. I mean, David, you're as close to the right hand of the Father as anybody. Do you think a sign was sent yesterday?
I think you losing every quarterback imaginable all year, and you get to this game after you've been third string quarterback this, third string quarterback that. He's been winning here. You lose everything. Yeah, I think it was a sign. You need to return.
No,
you're not a Niners fan. You're a Lions fan.
I'm not a Lions fan.
But see, all of those denials, you're really a Lions fan. And as the Lions begin a decade of dominance, and you are on afternoon drive in this town as a pillar of this community.
It's why I can look at that team objectively, because I'm not a fan.
Don't
I
you
can
want
see
to
it for
enjoy
what it really is.
Don't you want to enjoy it before it's too late?
No, I think that the fans here should enjoy it. That's fine. And I take nothing away from their happiness. No. Yesterday was, as in the words of Kwame Kilpatrick, was just a setback for the comeback.
Nice pull.
Yeah. Who were you singing to last night? You singing any lullabies? 248-539-9797. People, I want to hear from you. This is important work we're doing here. I want to know. No, because I don't feel sorry. I don't.
I know you don't.
Because you shouldn't. Well, you've been given too much. That team, that was at the
Once
seventh
again,
title game in 13 years.
I'm glad that the good Valenti texted me last night and was saying, you know what? He felt sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I realized that you and your wife did a great job, and sometimes you just give birth to a serial killer. Had nothing to do with you.
248. Might be the line of the year.
Wow.
248-539-9797. People, let's get this going. I want to know if you'd welcome Rico back to the family. Is it time? Should he become a Lions fan again? And in light of the Niners, that was intergalactic.
It was one game.
It was awesome.
I tried to tell you guys they were short on quarterbacks. No, you're being condescending. You're looking down upon us. No, I was telling you the truth.